What's up, Barnhill family, and welcome back to your home for all things combat sports.
Yo.
So we got a rematch in the co-main event this weekend, Moreno versus Pantoja. Now, Moreno is the champion. Pantoja got the better of them last time they fought. That was a couple of years ago. Seems like things could be very different this time. I think Brandon Moreno is one of the fastest evolving champions and fighters, for that matter, in general, in the UFC. Every time he's out there, he's showing us new wrinkles, and I'm ultra impressed with his game.
Yeah, very well said. And Brandon Moreno is always showing us different wrinkles into his game. And I'm constantly reminded that he's such a well-rounded mixed martial arts fighter every time he goes out there. For some reason, my brain tells me, Brandon Moreno, good striker. And then I always just, I guess, assume that his grappling or his ground fighting is lesser. But every time he goes out there, he's in these wild wrestling exchanges. He's Granby rolls and flips out and all kinds of great things, as well as some offensive stuff. He'll go and take somebody down that you thought he probably had no business on the ground with. And I just see him as one of those guys that found a groove and is just firing on all cylinders and seems to be making headway and a lot of leaps and bounds in his progress faster than everybody else, not only in his division, but in all the divisions in the UFC.
Yeah, you know, when you see Brandon Moreno fight, you think incredible boxer, great chin, Mexican fighter. He has that heart of a Mexican champion. He's willing to stand in a phone booth and trade with you. He's great with slipping. He's great with counters. His combinations are excellent. But as you said, then you're reminded sometimes when he goes to the ground with people that, man, this guy's got great submission attempts. He's got good reversals. He can win the fight anywhere. And while I do believe that Pantoja will likely have a slight edge on the ground, I wouldn't say so much so that I would think that Brandon should be worried to go to the ground with Pantoja. However, I do think his best bet is going to be on the feet. If he can defend a few takedowns and work his combination, stay on the inside, sort of make Pantoja miss and then make him pay, he can start to rack up rounds and will likely win a lopsided decision, or he may even do enough damage to get himself a late stoppage. I see him getting his revenge here. I think Brandon Moreno and Alex Pantoja are going to be 1-1 after this weekend.
Yeah, which might lead to a trilogy.
Yeah.
But, you know, I always like the situation of a rematch when it's not an immediate rematch. And there's all kinds of reasons why immediate rematches are super fun and interesting. We just saw one not that long ago with Israel Adesanya and Alex Pereira. But when you're looking at Brandon Moreno, he's got a clean slate. He's gone off and done wonderful things since he stubbed his toe against Pantoja. And Pantoja's done a lot of great things as well. You don't wind up in a title fight unless you're doing a lot of good stuff in the sport. But Brandon Moreno's probably not going to have that luring ghost over his back and that feel of like, man, this guy just got me out of there, or he just got his hand raised against me, and now nothing's changed. So much has changed, not only, you know, in the UFC, not only with the evolution of the sport, but everything in Brandon Moreno's career has changed. And, you know, a lot has gone Pantoja's way as well. But when you're talking about the evolution of this sport, which we were just talking about, nobody has done it like Brandon Moreno, in my opinion. And he's fast. Now, all flyweights are fast, but he seems to be exceptionally fast for the division. He's always able to score, and he always seems to stay in range when it comes to the striking realm. And I just think he's got more ways to win than Pantoja. I think Pantoja is going to have to really rise to the occasion if he wants to get his hand raised in this one, but I don't see it happening. I think we do see a trilogy between these two guys at some point in their careers. Who knows if it's going to be next? This one screams unanimous decision for Brandon Moreno for me, but I don't know how you feel.
I'm going to go ahead and say late stoppage. I think third or fourth round stoppage for Brandon Moreno. I think he's got a point to prove. You know, he's kind of on that mission right now to show everybody just how much he's evolved and how much he's improved. And he's kind of out for blood these days, and I like it. I think he's going to try to put some hurting on him in the early rounds, and then as it gets to round 3, round 4, if he starts to smell a little blood in the water and Pantoja starts to take a step back and starts to breathe a little heavy, look for the babyface assassin to go for the kill, and I think he's going to get it. Fourth round TKO is my final decision.
Good call. And I will say, we always talk about how Charles Oliveira is one of the most underrated, exciting fighters in the entire UFC. You know, everybody looks at Justin Gaethje, Michael Chandler, these types of electric fighters. Charles Oliveira is always putting on amazing shows, and I think the same thing can be said for Brandon Moreno. We haven't seen him in a boring fight in a long time, and he's always the one pressing forward, he's always the one pushing the pace, and he's always putting on epic performances.
Well said.